Hey guys, it is I, Radiant Plays, and welcome to my 60-second video question mark. I don't remember, but as you know, today it is February 19th, 2026. From this day, like on this day a year ago, I made my first ever long form video, that being on WildCards Remastered. As you see right now, I have the three servers I was in the past year. Like last year it's been happening, and well, we're going to be ranking them, and not just these ones. Don't worry. We're going to be going in and ranking each episode that they have, and this is just going to be my anniversary video for everything that's happened. I don't know if there's going to be any more wildcard servers. I hope there is. I mean, but there probably won't be because I'll be honest, ranking these episodes have been very hard, mainly because Darli has got rid of all of his videos for some reason. I don't know why he did that, but they're gone. So I'm just going based off of my memory here. So if they seem kind of wonky, then yeah, these are just my personal opinions, and I'm gonna try my best to be not biased at all towards anybody or anything, and I'm really gonna try to rank these the best that I can. So just starting off, we're gonna do this. But before I do, I want to thank every one of you guys for the past journey, and I'm almost at 100 subscribers, and it has been a crazy ride, really. And I hope there is going to be more to this when we continue in the future. So thank you all so much for everything, and it's truly meant a lot to me. And without further ado, this is going to be my video that I do. I hope this is the best video I could do since I originally wanted to do the Radslore episode, but I couldn't get that out on time, and I'm still working on it, so don't worry, it's still gonna come out. Don't worry at all. Yeah. Anyways, first thing we're gonna be rating WildCards Remastered. This was the first day. The server didn't complete at all, and honestly, it wasn't even a story-based server. It was just a server. So honestly, nothing too much happened. There was like a few controversies, a bunch of built up promises. Nothing really happened though. It was just kind of basic, you know what I mean? It didn't really do anything. I don't think it's D material, but I just it's kind of complicated to rank this one considering how it's just kind of weird. Honestly, it didn't really do anything. So I'm gonna put it in C tier because I don't really think it deserves any less, any more than that. It's just a server. It had a lot of built-up promises, and I'll admit sometimes it was kind of fun, but with my quality, it kind of lowered it a bit. But Darley's quality is the reason why it's not at a D tier. But I'm also gonna rank WildCards Aqua Inferno before Tungsten SMP because Tungsten SMP has the most episodes I have to rank, and oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun to do that! Yay! Well, WildCards, this one came after Tungsten SMP, which we learned together, we grew together, we knew everything we found in Tungsten SMP, which is why this one I think was actually really good. So with everything, we've met people, we grouped things. It was mainly story based, but there's also funny things. And I really wish this had like more to it. I really wish this had like just more to it. I wish it didn't have to end so quickly, but it did, and that's unfortunate. But with the time it did have, I think it did it really well, especially since we all had like, or since we already knew each other, and I also learned some things from Tux SMP. We all did, but because of that, I think it really became really good, and I think it would have become amazing if it continued. But because of that, I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think the acting in it, the story of it, was completely building up really good, and I feel like it was just like this close, like one more episode close to becoming S tier because quite literally, I underestimated how good this series would be. I already said before I didn't know if anything was going to be better than Tungsten SMP, but this one almost proved me right. But no, and obviously, I don't really have to say much. This one's going in S tier, and this isn't my own bias, I swear, but I truly think it deserves to be there because like all the story, all the things we built up to it, it had a great story, it had a great character list, how we all acted, acting moments, and this isn't biased at all. I just want you guys to clear. This is I think it truly deserves to be an S, and anybody in that server would probably agree with me. So yeah, no, these are all the servers I've been in, and honestly, I don't know if there's ever gonna be more. But again, these episodes, this one, if Wildcards Aqua Referendum had more of a chance, then I really think it could have been great. So yeah. But now we're gonna go individually by each episode and see and rate them. All right, so we're gonna start with this one first. All right, here we are. We got all seven of them. There wasn't a lot in this season or episode or whatever you call them, series. But this was also my first ever series that I did, and I was learning how to edit. But even then, I was told I edit pretty decent at the time, and also added shaders and added things. And I really learned a lot in this, and it really set me up for Tungsten SMP. And but even then, I still think these episodes are not as good. Now, how this is gonna work with Tungsten SMP, I'm gonna be rating each episode, including other people's POVs, not just mine. For this one, I'm just gonna be rating my POV, and that's also for Aqua and Ferundum. I'm also gonna be rating Aqua and Ferundum by my POV because that one's kind of complicated, and also without Darli's POV, I think it's kind of hard to rate that one. So we're just going with this, and then we'll talk about Tungsten SMP. So first one, the beginning. This is where I met Darli, and we learned, we built a base, we found a base. Honestly, it was a pretty basic video. I mean, nothing really happened. We didn't meet Bush, we scouted base, built it. So, I mean, I think it's a C tier. I don't think it's all that, but I mean, it's all right, I guess. So, yeah, nothing more to it than that. Then we have the second episode, which is where we tame Netherite Ingot. I think the boat also got stolen in this episode. Got some supplies, and then we tamed more dogs off camera, but Darla wasn't really in this one. And then I don't know, we heard of other people in the thing, and but really didn't. Nothing else happened in this one. And honestly, it's kind of disappointing. So I think it also. I don't think it was horrible. So I mean that's why it's probably going in C tier also. Or no, I think it goes in C tier. And then the third one, sailing. This one is where things actually start to get pretty good. I like this one. There's lots of adventure. There was found places. I think we met a few people. We sailed, and there was also quite a funny moments in here. I mean, sometimes I look back at these videos and then I see how much I've changed since. Yeah, I don't know. I realized how much TikTok humor I put in these videos, and I'm like, now I'm looking back at them, I'm regretting everything. So if these videos weren't important at all, they would be gone. They would be gone because I absolutely hate how cringe I was in these episodes. But no, these ones were pretty funny. We found a new home and we built everything. So I think this one was actually pretty good. So I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. I don't think it's an S tier because there's some parts that were missing that felt empty. But for what it is, I think it was pretty good. And then after that, we got episode 4, which is like this one actually comes after this one, I think, after Darley tells me to, but we're gonna be writing it before that anyway. So this one we went after Coco. We destroyed his base and we kind of killed his dogs. So yeah, we flew a plane. Honestly, it was a pretty cool episode, but again, it's nothing too big as much as I made it out to seem. But so I think it's a B tier, honestly. I think it's better than these two, but not as good as this one. And then there's this one. This one is probably my least favorite of every video I've ever made. This one literally just had me trading stuff. Nothing happened. There was no Darley. There was nothing else. I think it was kind of disappointing. So D tier. Yeah, no, that was bad. I hated that episode. Why did I edit all that? There's like I can't remember a single thing from that episode. I mean, I scouted over each of these episodes just so my memory's intact, and this one is just disappointing. And this is when me and Darley broke up. Not relationship wise, we're not like that. But he left, and it was kind of intense. He left me a lot of stuff, and you know, and then we were set up for the future. It was kind of upsetting, but I think it was also sort of cinematic in a sense. I think it goes right next to B tier, next to this guy. And here we are, the last episode, which we got me going to the Nether. It was kind of intense. Darley was doing his own thing. I think he'll build a whole lab base. And then this one was kind of all right. I don't know. It was kind of long, just taming stuff, getting netherite. I think it was an all right one, so I think I'll also go in B tier. I don't think any of these deserve the glory of S tier, so I think this is it. It was an overall decent season for me beginning at least, and other people really helped me grow into what was going to become Tungsten SMP. So I guess with that, we're going to move on to WildCards Aqua Ferundum because, it was just made before or after. You'll see what I mean. All right, and here we are. We are with the WildCards Aqua Ferundum. I rated the series an A tier because I think it was pretty good. Because the thing is, with this series, is that it came after Tungsten SMP, and we all knew each other. We all grew up together in Tungsten SMP, and we all just became friends. We became friends, and I also learned quite a few skills when it came to doing these Minecraft weird roleplay servers or whatever. But it really helped me a lot, and that's why I think these series are so great because we also knew each other and we also grew teams, and the story was really well built since we already knew all that from Tungsten. I think the series actually is supposed to be connected to Tungsten in a way. This is supposed to be after everything flooded in Tungsten after the bomb or whatever, if you know the lore. And yeah, no, I mean I think that was pretty cool, but I don't know why. What was the point of that? But yeah, no, we're gonna go to episode 1. The reason I'm doing this one before Tungsten, because Tungsten's gonna have a lot of things, so I think we're just going in order, whichever one I thought was the best. So we're doing Tungsten last. So yeah. Here we are. This one, I kind of just talked there how I got there, and then Darli came by, talked about how people were robbing them and stuff, and I don't know, I was warned. I think it was pretty good. I like the vibe of it, tension building from things, and then I also had this little plot where when I went to the base where I wasn't supposed to go into the boat, and I found help signs, which that kind of built some tension. And I wanted to figure out what was wrong with my team, so I established that I didn't trust them or whatever. So I think it deserves to go in B tier for all of that because I mean I don't know, it doesn't feel too good to be in A tier, but it doesn't deserve to be. So right in the middle, that's where it goes. It was a pretty good start. I liked it a lot. Now here's episode 2. This one's probably this is the most viewed episode of my entire series of these all of them. And I can see why. It's a very good episode. There's a lot. So, we came here, I helped the team. We went over, we freaking robbed BNG or whatever base they had. We interrogated them, and then I was talked by and warned by Darli again not to do that stuff. It was kind of an intense scene. I kind of was weird by it, but we gave supplies to them. I think my pants got stolen. That's weird without context. But there was also these high tension scenes where Game came by right as they were looking for him, and that one I really liked those scenes. Those ones are really good. I think they're intense, and then we found a new base. We made it, and then eventually we went to a meeting where we signed a treaty, and we didn't exactly become an alliance, but we became a treaty. Overall, I really like this episode. This might be a bit of a take, but a bit of a stretch, but I think it goes in S tier. I think it's genuinely it's so good. Like it's good enough to be an S tier. I feel like it doesn't deserve to be A tier because it just feels like why do all that? You know what I mean? But no, it was a really good episode in my opinion, and it was just like it worked out great. I liked how it all played out. All right, now we got this one. This is episode 3 of it. We went to the pirate island. We learned we built the villager base. We went on a ship, and we went to the meeting with the mystery person. At the same time, Darli disappeared. And this mystery person appeared. So, wow, that I definitely didn't know who that is. And then, I think Top Hat got trapped or executed or something. I really do not remember. And then we also went to the bar place. Overall, it just established how Darli disappeared. He left his empire or community or whatever he called it, and it just all fell down. I think it was a decent episode. Again, I think it's gonna go in B tier, or this one's gonna go in B tier because I don't know, felt kind of empty in some parts, but I don't know. And then we got this one. This was the last one, which was actually I don't know. A lot of this was memories and stuff, and this is the episode that shattered everything, ruined everything. But no, I came back home, Crab and Game were dead, and then the base was destroyed. And I was also given the Elytra at the time, which was pretty good. And then in the flashback, we did steal a ship from Darli, and then they logged off. They went to go find something else, and then I logged off on the ship, and then I logged back on the ship where Darli was, and I escaped, but he came back. He warned me about stuff, which I think that created a lot of tension because I probably could have told the others that Darli was still out there and that he could have probably done something, but I didn't. And I also saw him walking around the little meeting area. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't know he was there. I did know he was there because I used free cam, okay? There, I admit it. Here's a photo. Here's a photo I took, okay? I used free cam. Sue me, all right? But I also did genuinely see him nearby the window, so it was kind of suspenseful, so I didn't tell anybody, though. That was my own character decision for some reason. And then Darli broke in. He fought everybody. It was kind of intense. I also had this weird little panic attack scene. It was like everything was weirdly colored. I kind of liked that scene, which you didn't see a lot of the fighting. But because of Darli's POV, I think I'll give it credit. That one time, I think the scene was pretty cool. I liked it. The fighting scene in general was all right. I can't remember, but and then I made the graves after the flashback ended, and I ran away, and then I went to the hole during the fight, and everything happened, and then it came back, which led to the whole flashback scene. Overall, I really liked this one. I think it the fighting, if you include Darli's POV with it, it was really good. So I think it's gonna go in A tier. I don't know. I want it to be an S tier, but I think mainly because you didn't see my POV with it, and the fact that it just happened, they had a base and they were all attacked, and I don't know. Again, it's just one of those things where it's lacking enough to be S tier, but no. As you can see right here, I don't have any C or D tiers here because I think genuinely this episode, again, it was this close to me an S tier series because if it just continued and there was no controversy, it would have been great. But surprisingly, the controversy wasn't the reason that the server ended. It ended because there was no quote unquote content made, which I'll be real with you, kind of pissed me off. Darli was the guy who made things happen. He alerted everyone on the server to get on for these content moments. And I had content. I had me going to the Nether, me making the Netherite armor. I even had this cool little scene where I freaking robbed LJ and BNG. I went through their portal, and I don't have that video now because I deleted it. But I had it ready. I was just waiting for Darli to do one of those content things, and he never did do it. So yeah, but I didn't want to post it, so I never did. And yeah, no, I stole it. I have a few photos, so here you go of the server I took. But no, this was a decent episode, seasons or whatever. They were good. I liked them. And now we're gonna move on to the most anticipated season, the thing that like probably my most favorite thing ever. So we're going to Tungsten SMP now. Whoa. All right, here we are to probably the most hard series I've had to rate so far. I mean, I know I'm using my thumbnails here, but I'm gonna be rating everyone's POV here. Again, I'm going off of my memory because Darli, for some reason, got rid of like all of his videos, and like, maybe I could have DM'd him and be like, "Yo, Darli, where the videos at?" And like, he might have unlisted them or something at least, because I have all the links. I mean, I don't ask how I have all the links, but I have them. But yeah, I don't have the videos, so maybe these would have been rated higher. So keep that in mind. That these would have been rated maybe higher, maybe less if I had Darli's POV. But all I have is games in mind, because I mean, we are the only content creators that made videos, so. All right, starting off with the first one, we have what was this? What did I call this one? I don't remember, but I think this one was just a starting one for me. And honestly, if I was rating my POV alone, it would be in a D because like literally nothing happened. I just trashed there, got my mask, and I plane crashed. I met Darli, and then and then with Darli's POV, he woke up, found the zombies, fought them, and then he tried to fight survivors, and then got shot dead by Coco for some reason, and saved by the scientist guy who was a mystery the entire time, but I don't know. And then he met Reds, which was me. What? So I think because of Darli's POV and mine, that kind of adds up a little bit. So again, I don't think it's too much. So I think I'm gonna put it in C again because there's like way better episodes here. So, but now we got the second one, which is probably like one of my personal favorites. Honestly, the most happiest moments in the entire SMP because literally everything else was so depressing. But no, we woke up. Me and Darli woke up. We went away. We stole supplies from the Coco guys. Then we went over. We found Crab. We met there, and there was a lot of funny moments I think between us all. And it was funny, dude. I think I remember it being really funny, and I liked it a lot. And then we ran away, me and Crab did, after Darley logged off, and we went to go find supplies. And then you heard this little high tension scene where I ran away, and like Coco, I think Coco's team was there. And I think that's how Crab got met with them, but nothing bad happened. I just ran away, but he met them, and it was an alright scene. I kind of liked this episode. It was kind of funny. It was kind of intense, so it had like the perfect thing. So I think it goes in like, I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. Like I want it to be A tier, but like I think realistically it's a B tier episode. Now here's this one. If I was rating this episode alone, again, this would be a D tier because literally we learned so much. Like, James being apparently the one who revived Darley, but that never happened. That never happened. That was just a lie for some reason. That never got explained why he lied about that, or why Darley made him lie about that. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. But of course, there's Darley's POV, which again clutches up this. So I reflect about almost dying, and then I meet the team with Krabs, and then I think Crab does say how he doesn't trust these guys. Which, if he had like mentioned that, or if we had like miscommunicated that with, or if we communicated correctly with Darley, then none of this would have happened. But no, I think that's part of the story that's supposed to happen. But and Darley comes back. He was revealed that he is a zombie, and everyone has high tension moment. So I think I know I said I would put this in D tier, but I kind of lied. It would probably be C tier. But because of Darla's POV, I think he also wakes up to find out he's a zombie by some random anonymous doctor. He calls himself. Darla thinks we teamed up with the guy who saw him get killed by Coco, or I don't know if I said that right. And then Darla and Crab leave the way to go talk or whatever. Now it's just me and this guy, James, I think. Then he says he was the one who revived Darley or whatever, which is a lie. That never happened, and I still to this day I have no idea why that was never clarified that was a lie or anything because never got explained at all. It was weird. And Darley and Crab talk. I think Crab tells him about where he came from or whatever, and then Darley had this weird cure looking thing, and he thought if he took it, or Crab thought if he took it, he would die. So he stole the cure and took it for himself. And no, it just made him infected. So that was for nothing. He kind of And I remember this name very clearly. It was Together We Now Rot. I went on live stream with Darli once, and I kept on saying that for some reason. That was unrelated, but I think this one had pretty high tension lore. It was starting to build things, so I think it goes an A tier. It was pretty good. All right, I think it went from C to an A because of Darli's POV, but also mine. So, and here we are to episode 4, the cursed episode 4. And here we got some little bit of Rad's lore, not related to my other series, but of my past on the plane, how I crashed, and I don't remember anything of the past. That's like a main component of this, how I don't remember anything. I really liked how it worked there also. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but I'm also going to be rating everybody's characters in these seasons. So I'm going to be rating everyone's characters at the end of these, so stay tuned for that. And then eventually James shows his new base to me, which is a little thing, and then he leads me back to Darley's base where we find his base and like we steal his villager Antonio. And no, and then and then Darley sees me as a permanent traitor after that, and like yeah, I don't know, because of Antonio getting stolen, and then James kills Darley, which is like I don't know, kind of sad. I think at the beginning of Darley's episode, he found out that his base was found, and then he goes back to their own base and burns down his house while we were over there traveling to him, which was crazy because I don't know, that was just crazy timing. He burned down, blow up, and then he gets back, and then he dies. And then Darley had this weird little speech how he said he was gonna change everything like one at in. It was kind of sad. I remember being cinematic, but again, that's all I remember. I think this one was actually like a really good episode. I kind of liked it a lot. I want to put it in S tier, but I don't like to be realistic. I don't think it's like too good to be an S tier. So I think it goes in A tier. I really like that one again though. It's just I don't know, high tension scenes again. Now here we are to episode 5. This is where I build the grave where for Darley, a little grave, and then you meet back with Crab, and then because Crab molts it or whatever. I don't know. Talked about Darley's death, and then eventually we leave to go find a home. I don't give this episode enough like credit for what it is. Honestly, I kind of forgot about it, but then there's this scene where it was hallucinating, and like those are pretty high tension scenes. They were kind of funny, but they're also kind of intense, and they had these hallucinations. And one time, Darley came back as a little ghost thing and told me he was alive and didn't die, which I think it actually was this episode. But no, I saw hallucinations of Darley, which was I really liked that scene. That was actually way better than I remember. And then later, I get told to find the doctor and that Darley is alive. We did find a new hospital, and then we met Anonymous, which is like probably one of my favorite-ist characters, even though it's just Darley, which revealed at some point. Which then Anonymous wanted to find Darley's body, which didn't make much sense considering he knew he was Darley. So why was he trying to find Darley's body? I don't know. It runs into one of my theories that I have because I don't know if you believe this or not, but I have a lot of theories on this series. Yeah, a lot because it was something I used to do, and I don't know. I don't really do it anymore. And there's also no point of doing theories because they're never going to get confirmed or denied because we're never doing anything like this again, which is unfortunate. Tension scene, I think it was also kind of good. We met Anonymous. It was a high tension thing. So, yeah, this is going in A tier again. Then we got episode 6, which is where we travel to find Dolly's body, which is not surprising. He's gone. So they think if he's alive or whatever. Anonymous talks about the empire or the commune, which is like gets misinterpreted as an empire the entire time, which is just commune, but it's a weird little empire, and they have a little tense standoff. And like, but Anonymous looks around the base and then he runs away, and we can't find him. So we go over, we try to find him, but he's gone. So then me and Crab get drunk in the weird little base thing. So no, I kind of like that. That scene was kind of funny to me. And the leader of the empire comes and gives us a radio, which is like also Darley. I think I don't think it's a separate person. I don't know, falls into another theory I have, which if you ever guys want me to hear my theories on this series, let me know, because I have a lot, and I don't know if they ever will be useful. But no, it gives us the radio, which like just to be taken back in the next episode. Like the radio meant absolutely nothing. Like I have no idea why he gave us that. I feel like that was set up to be something, but I don't know, the episode was all right. I think it goes in B tier. It's not too good, but I mean, I think I liked it personally. And then here we are, episode 7, which is with Darley. Again, this is the one where I do not remember the most of, but I do remember it being good. I had my own self memory, my own self purpose about me wanting to change, wanting to be better. And then me and Crab, we get together, we look for other survivors, and we have a little discussion of what would happen if Darley came back and if he was different. And then we found the doctor's old base, which was like kind of cool. And then the leader finds me, and then he asks for the radio back, which again, that meant nothing. But then we found Slushy, and then little guy. We put him back in the base, and he was like kind of weird, aggressive. And then eventually later in the episode, Game was introduced for the first time. He was cool. I didn't know him at the time, so but he was an alright guy. The scene was all right. I liked him. It was kind of an intelligent scene where they like try to find him. I think it was also revealed that Slushy had something to do with it, or like messed up the commune in a way. Again, I do not remember what happened to the commune at all with that whole controversy. And maybe I could go back into Game's POV, but again, I'm trying to make this video before it's too late. So, and then eventually, then after that, Crab goes after to find Game, and then gets absolutely cooks, gets shot in the head, and then yeah, no, he's dead. He's dead, but he's actually alive because he's a zombie. That was kind of cool. I remember this is like the one episode where I clearly remember watching Darli's POV and being like stunned after watching it. Like I genuinely thought Crab was dead forever when I first saw that, and it was like no or something like that. I don't know, but he was alive. He was okay. So but I really like the tension in this and talking about Slushy, and then I killed Slushy. I think Slushy was supposed to come back at some point in these episodes, but he never did. So he died forever. I killed him because the Empire said he was dangerous, and I guess it was in a way to get on their good side, but I don't know. But I really like this one. This one was probably one of my most favorites ones, which I just don't remember for some reason. So I think it goes in S tier. It's a really good episode. It has self-reflection, and if Darley's POV was out there, also very good. But no, I really like this episode. I think it's right where it belongs, so it's very nice. And boy, here we go. We got episode 8. This is the longest one ever, and it didn't get that much attention. I had to review this video like 80 different times, which I have to do for all of them, but because it was like an hour and 30 minutes long, it's like forever. But yeah, guys, let's start off with how I got TNT. Crab was been gone for a little bit during this episode, and then I made the journal log for the first time, and I became friends with the freaking starfish and the dead zombie, Henry and Jeffrey. I still remember their names. I also found some pictures of life, which was like the Empire, which I knew was the Empire. I actually did not mean to find that, but I did. I also blew up the doctor's base off camera and other parts of the world. And also, I think at this point I was starting to go crazy and placing signs around. Like, as you can see in the video, this is where like the glitched rads happens, and that was I don't know. I like that scene. But Coco also was there, and he like kind of blew us up when we found him, and then like I don't know, he seemed tense. But then also I think during Darley's POV, Coco talks about why he killed Darley, and that was just because he could. I don't know. I think that scene was kind of crazy. I remember it being crazy. Again, I can't go back and watch it, but no, it was crazy. I also revealed how I killed Slushy, and then like also how Darley saw how I changed in a way, which was kind of a tense scene also. But I killed Slushy, and I revealed that. And then I went to the glitched rads where I went around, I went crazy, and Darley tries to kill me, but I escaped. And then I went to the bridge to find that Crab was being taken. I couldn't do anything. And then I came back, and then I was told to leave again, which I totally decided by myself, and nobody else told me to do this. I went back, and I went to go find Crab, and then I tried to get killed. And then I went glitched over again, and then I killed him again. I killed Darley, went back, freed Crab from the cage, opened it for him, and then destroyed literally all of the base. I'm starting to remember now. How did I break the bars that were unbreakable? I did that with my bare fists. Kind of crazy. And there's also this one point where I was on the tower with the radio, and that was also a high tense, an emotional scene. I really liked that one. That was probably one of my most favorite moments ever, with the effects and everything. It was amazing. We're on the radio call, and then when Crab was trapped, and I was told to leave, and then I broke it free, and then I went to sleep to wait for him. Obviously, I'm gonna put this one in S tier. It had so much stuff in it, and it was amazing. I loved it. I think it was pretty good, honestly. Then here we got episode 9, which is where me and Crab regroup after he's freed, and then Crab does admit that he's not going to be himself one day, which did get me worried that at some point maybe I would have to kill Crab from being a zombie. But that would have been another, in a different universe. That would have been a crazy scene if that ever happened. But no, this is also when Crab tells me where it came from, and then also our emotional talk, our relationship. And I think me and Crab at this point were like pretty good, close with each other, and it was great. And then we came back, and Darley was weird. He had this weird memory where he couldn't remember things. It was like flipping it out of personalities. It was just I don't know. I'm still confused about that. And then I give him supplies, and then they come back after Darley and Game after Game established what happened to him, and then he comes back. They rob me. They shoot me in the back. I come back, and then Darley's in his weird little confused state, and I go to sleep there again. And yeah, no, this one episode was honestly pretty good. I liked it a lot. It had a lot of emotional moments, which is the reason why I'm putting it in A tier. A lot of these episodes are A tier. I think they're amazing and they're all right. And here we are to episode 10, fragmented, or that's not what it's called. But no, I have injuries, and then Dolly comes back as the confused guy, and for being the leader. From being the leader, he was also the leader, which was confusing, which is kind of shocking. And that's why I suspected him as the same person, being the same person. But then I was taken with Darley to the base where they revealed their plans and their goals, with their signs and everything. But then, like, literally, I was just given a syringe and everything was forgotten. So most of that episode was like completely useless because I never learned that Darley and the confused guy was the same person, or at least not on camera. No, which we learned everything again back in this episode. So this episode kind of felt useless, but I reunited with Crab, and he showed me a secret base and try to figure out together. So I don't know. I think this was an all right episode. I think um, honestly, I think it goes in B tier. I don't know. I was debated to put it in C tier, but I don't know. Now we're down to the last 5 episodes. So here we go. This is gonna be exciting, isn't it? In this episode, Crab gave me some new gear. We went together. We went to go find Coco. We went to go befriend Coco, and then we did. Became friends. It was kind of all right scene, but then we got attacked by the guys, and we left. But I think Crab took that as an advantage, so we went to their base, and we found all the things we learned this again, except the fact that I don't know the same guy. So we found out all the things what they wanted to do when we left again. We head back to the base as Coco was killed for the last time actually. This was also an emotional scene at the end where like me and Crab were together. He was reading the little thing to it. That was actually one of my favorite scenes, honestly. Also close to one of the happiest memories Tungsten has. So I don't know. It was emotional. Again, I really like this scene. I don't know. I think just because of that scene, I'm debated to put in S tier, but I think it goes in A tier. Here we are. We got Skyfall. That's not what it's called again, but after that, we head back because we left Coco, and then we find out that he's dead. So yeah, Crab is kind of angry, regretful. And then we head back to the Empire. We kidnap Game. We take him somewhere, and then he reveals how he built the nuke and how it's going to kill the zombies and how everything's going to work. I didn't exactly remember all the details. I could have gone back and watched that, but I didn't. And then Crab knocks him out, and Game doesn't remember any of that at all. So yeah, no. And then once everything is gone, this is where, like, if I didn't have that one scene, the episode would have been like 9 minutes long. But then after that, I was led out by the base because Crab and Game appeared there for some reason. Which I'll admit, one of my biggest criticisms on the series is the fact how they kept finding our base realistically. Like, I know they had to find us, but what do you mean they just flew over, found a helicopter, and found our base for the 50th time? It just got lucky. Like, how do you keep finding our base? And they never explain that ever. How they just find it. I mean, maybe sometimes I can excuse the hospital, maybe, but no, I like literally most of the time it doesn't make sense. So I don't know. That's the one thing that kind of made me angered. How they didn't have like they could find our base, but they have to find a realistic reason on how they did. They just found it. It didn't make sense. But they found it, and then I was eventually led by Darli to the base and just got blown up. Where it seemed like I died. Like it genuinely seemed like I died, but I didn't die. I was alive, and I don't know how I lived that. I wasn't a zombie at all. I just got lucky, I guess. Again, this was an all right episode, so I think it's gonna go in B tier. It's all right. Now here we got episode 13. This one is where I first wake up after I have that little memory with Interrads, and then I don't know. I wake up because Omega saved me, which is like for the first time Omega is introduced. I think within these episodes from Darla's POV, it's revealed that Omega is on his side. I think in episode 8, I find Omega's little base where he was in the Empire at that time, but he's not anymore. He moved away from it, but they're still in alliances. They were. And then basically Omega saved me and hid me in his base, and they came back in this little high tension scene where they try to find me. They couldn't find me. And then I was found, and I was taken out, threatened. And then one of the coolest scenes is that where Crab comes in and like points a gun from behind, and like that was a sick scene. I like that scene a lot. And then Omega kind of breaks up from the Empire, considering how he heard explosions happening, and then also Game says he feels bad, which then Darley feels kind of betrayed in a way. How literally everyone left his side. I mean, Game literally explicitly said he was still on his side, but like I don't know, he still left. And eventually, me and Crab go up. We talk. I think Game was there also, maybe I don't remember. And then Crab came up there, and then Darley came up there, and then said he's gonna go kill Omega. So he went to go kill Omega. I jumped down there just in time to see Crab like Crab over Darley's dead body. He killed him for the first time, I think. And I don't know, he was kind of freaked out. I kind of reassured him there, which I kind of like. That scene was also kind of cool in a way. It grew our relationship. And then we got out. We found this cave and we hang out there. And that should have been it, right? That was all it for me and Darley's POV. However, for the first time in all of these episodes, there is a scene where you cannot watch it from my POV or Darley's POV, but you have to see it from Game's POV. And it's one where Game and Crab are talking after everything. They're on top. They're talking about how they're gonna end this all, and then Crab offers to find the nuke and blow it up with Darley and for us to escape, which is kind of crazy when I saw it for the first time that he wanted to do that. But we never learned that until after in this episode. But Krabs wants everyone to escape together as he like traps him, and like he hopes that they find a good scene together, which I think is a pretty intense and emotional scene also. So I don't know. It's also explained why Game freaks out when he sees a cross in episode 15. It's revealed because he wants to, because Crab said he wanted to, if he put a cross there, then they should leave. So that's what happened. I think with all of this in here, it was a great episode, and I think it deserves to go in S tier. Really good episode. Oh, and here we go. We got episode 14. I'll admit, I completely forgot about this episode. Like, this episode was so forgettable that I thought my last encounter with Darli was in this one, but no, it was actually in this one. Basically, Darli became stronger and blows up Omega's base and is chased by Game, I think, in his POV. And then we kidnap him with the helicopter. We take him to this little base. And I don't know, he's talked to warning how he will blow everything up and unsure if it was apply. And then we try to find him and nothing happens. But then Game reveals how he had this thing that could kill Darli if they were infected in a way that just like completely kills them. And I don't know if it applied or if he ever put it on him, but that never happened. This episode was weird. They go to find the Empire and nothing happens. So honestly, it was just chasing around, learning new information that didn't matter. So I don't know, it was kind of a disappointing episode. It could have been way better. Even with Darley's POV, I think it still deserves to be in C tier. And here we got the final episode, which is episode 15. Now, this one's actually quite split apart. There's Darley's POV, and then there's my POV. That's it. I mean, Game is with me most of the time, so it doesn't really matter. I think in this episode, Darley was reflecting on top of his old building, how it like almost made him want to not do everything, but he did. And then on the nuke, him and Crab have a standoff, which was pretty sick. I liked it, but I wish I could see it again. But it was dope. I really liked that scene. It was like intentional, and like it had all these cool fight scenes, and it was like, wow. Eventually, Crab has this like last word speech, and then he blows up the nuke, and they all die or whatever. Or they both died for sure. But for me in Game, we basically woke up. Game saw the cross, and we ran away in this little helicopter. We went to the bunker where Omega is there. It's inferred that he is there, okay? Just so everyone knows. And we stayed there for like about 6 months. I know it said 3 or 2 months, but it was 6 months. I don't know why I put 2 months. We wake up, Darla, Crab is like, I'm reflecting on my relationship with Crab, and now if like still holding on to some hope that he might be out there, but no, he's not out there. And then Game also thinks about his old relationship with Darli, so kind of unfortunate. But we head outside and see that the world's blown up, but nothing really changed. And then in the saddest ending, they jump off together, and we both end it. And it was a sad ending, especially since Crab wanted us to escape at some point, but they didn't know that. So I don't know. I think it was a pretty great ending. I mean, I think I want to put this in S tier. So that's where it's going. It's going in S tier. Well, this is it. This is my entire ranking. There is not a single D tier episode because I think everything had decent episodes, and these were the best episodes. So. No, honestly, I think this one like barely makes it into A tier, but overall, it was a great episode. So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna rank all the characters in this one. So, yeah, let's go do that. All right, here we are. We got all the people of Tungsten SMP. Yeah, we got James, we got Omega, we got Game, we got Darli, we got Crab, and then this is Coco, but I couldn't find a skin, so I just have this axolotl. I'm not ranking myself on this because I don't want to seem like I'm biased or something like that. Because I could put myself in S tier, and then someone would be like, nah, "Actually, no, you sucked. So put yourself lower." So then I could put myself in D tier, and then people would be like, actually, you were better than that." And then I could put myself in B tier, and then people would be like, "Actually, you need to be higher. Actually, you need to be lower." And I don't know. Even if people don't comment that, I feel like people might think that. So I'm just not gonna put myself on this list at all. I'm gonna rank James first because he didn't really have that much screen time. Also, I don't have Slushy on here. I'm aware that he is a character in that too, but my rule is you have to be in more than one episode to be ranked on here. So yeah, no, everyone else was in more than one episode. So yeah, James, he didn't have that much time. He made a lot of lore that never really became true. But I mean, I think he was a decent guy, you know. And I'm rating their character. I'm not rating by how good of a person they are or whatever. But there, I think he had a decent character. He did his role all right, but again, he didn't really have that much things to do. So I don't know, I think he goes in C tier. I just feel like it could have been more, and he never really became more. Then I got Coco here, which I mean, he had some screen time. But he was like he didn't have that much things to do, but he's the reason that most of the controversy happened in the first place. I feel like, and you know, he was kind of a freaked out villain in a way. You know, he was a weird guy. You know, I think he was decent, but again, he didn't have that much screen time, so I think he gets like no, I think he gets. I'll put him in B tier. I'll be generous. No, I have no idea if this should be here or not. I really do not know. I don't know. This one's kind of hard to rank considering he didn't have that much things, but with the screen time he did have, I think he did it pretty well. All right, now we got Omega. Now Omega, he also didn't have too much screen time, but I think he did his role really nicely. He had some character, he had like a few character development. I just wish he had a bit more. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put him in B tier. His character. I think if he had more screen time, he would be an A tier character. But I don't know. I don't know. Next, we got the game 247. This guy, he joined halfway through the server, I think, and you know, but he did his role very nicely. He had amnesia, kind of like I did. He also played the doctor for like one episode before he became game, and you know, I think he did nicely. The only thing is that like I feel like sometimes he'd be like, I don't know. I just feel like there's some gaps in between that didn't make sense, and but I think it was a really good character. I think everyone here did their jobs as a character really well. So I think I'm gonna put him in A tier. I don't know. Like I don't know. I think he was really good though. Honestly, I don't know exactly what's holding me back from putting him in S tier, but I think there's something. I don't know. It just feels missing. It's like one of those things where it's missing again. All right, we got Darli now. I think it would be disrespectful if I put Darli in anything that's not S tier because I think he had the best character, one of the best characters. You know, he did his role nicely. He was like a good villain, good morals. He had great like reasons to why he did everything. You know, just a lot of miscommunication between everyone else. But I think S tier fits him really well for what he's done. At least that's my memory of what he's done in the server. I don't know if it would change at all if I saw his videos again, but no, I think he did it nicely. He had morals, he had character growth more than anyone else, I think. And yeah. And then we got Crab, which ended up winning the main character vote after the server, and for good reason. That's why he's going in S tier with Darli. I think he told me personally one time that he was like he's used to this kind of stuff. I think he's done stuff like this before, which I don't doubt it, honestly. He did it really well, and like I think his role also had good growth. I liked how the both of our characters concluded with each other. It interacted really well. I think he was a great character, and honestly, literally, I don't have much criticisms about him. I think these guys are like everyone has their own rules of where they need to be, and I think that works very well. Overall, I like the server a lot. So yeah, no. I'm not gonna rank the characters in Aqua from them because I don't think it would be fair. It's not a full server, so yeah. But no, guys, again, this is probably going to be a very long video, but thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you for all the support I've gotten the last year. And I'm so happy. This has been a great channel for me. I really am excited to see where this goes. And, you know, stay tuned for everything else I have planned in the future, whether that be more server SMP videos or Rad's lore. That's coming out soon. I mean, I have a lot of people waiting on the Rad's lore. Thank you all again. And, well, fans, lads, it's been iRads. And thank you, you know. And there's to everything. So, yeah, without further ado, thank you guys for watching.